Okay, hello, it's 8 p.m., November 30th, 2020, and welcome to the weather update. It's very mild out there, very warm now. Temperatures on Long Island have risen into the mid 60s. That would be kind of funny if we set a record high at this hour at night, but you never know, it could happen. Looking at some of these temperatures here, we're in the mid 60s now. They've gone up 64. Still seeing these wind gusts up to 33 miles an hour. It's humid out there, too, as you can see. Dew point's also around 60 degrees, so very humid, very warm. Even right on the South Shore, it's 60 degrees. And we're seeing wind gusts, still seeing some of the wind gusts, not as strong as before, but it's still windy out there. And the city also up in the mid 60s. Everybody's pretty much in the mid 60s at this point. A little cooler back here because this is where the cooler air will come in, but we're not going to see it yet. Still in the 60s, in the low 60s in New Jersey. Let's look at some of these buoys here. This buoy, south wind at 27 miles an hour with a gust of 36. The wave height is 15.1 feet. That is significant right there. Looking at this buoy, we have a south-southeast wind gusting to 36. Wave height is 12.8 feet. So continuing to be just a muggy night out there across the area. So let's go take a look at I guess we're going to look at the rainfall totals on this, and then we'll look at the rainfall totals from the Weather Service, as well as also the peak wind gusts. Let's look at the peak wind gusts first. Well, actually, before we get started with any of that, let's look at the radar. This line seems to have evaporated, so we're not going to have to worry about this for too much longer. You can see once this last bit of rain moves through, that's it. We'll be done. So 99% of the rain is over, I think, at this point. Just a few spotty showers out on the east end, but I think that's going to be it. But we're still dealing with these winds, though they should subside very shortly. I don't think we have the high wind warning in effect. We still have it in effect for Suffolk County. Let's see when that expires. Tornado watch has expired. High wind warning in effect till 10 p.m. now for Suffolk County. So let's take a look at the latest wind and rain reports. We'll start with the wind first. Connecticut had wind gusts up to 63 miles an hour, and Stamford, Bridgeport Airport had wind gusts up to 54 miles an hour. Milford had a wind gust up to 58 miles an hour. New Haven, 53. New London, 61 miles an hour. City not as bad. Wind gusts in the mid 40s, which isn't too bad. Nassau County, Wantagh had a wind gust at 54 miles an hour. In Queens, Jackson Heights had a wind gust of 61. Kew Gardens Hills, 60 miles an hour. JFK had a wind gust of 58 miles an hour. In Suffolk County, so far the highest number at Orient, 66 miles an hour. Stony Brook had a wind gust of 64 miles an hour. South Hold had a wind gust to 61 miles an hour. West Gilgo Beach had a wind gust to 61. Farmingdale had a wind gust to 60 miles an hour. It's pretty substantial. Bating Hollow, 58 miles an hour. West Hampton also gusted up to 55 miles an hour. And then we also have a wind gust of 58 miles an hour at Robert Moses State Park. And also Robbins Reef, New Jersey had a wind gust of 57 miles an hour. A lot of wind out there today, a lot of wind, and we're going to now look at the rainfall reports from the Weather Service as well. So in Fairfield County, Connecticut, looks like Newton got 1.85. New Haven County and Connecticut, Waterbury got 1.79. So those are the higher amounts. Look at Bergen County, though. Lyndhurst, 2.62 inches. So an inch and a half, an inch and 3/4 in a lot of these areas. In northern New Jersey, Essex County, Caldwell, 1.62. Passaic County, West Milford, 2.13. Union County at the Newark Airport, 1.08. And in the Bronx, Fordham, 1.55. In Brooklyn, Sheepshead Bay got 1.60 inches. In Nassau County, Woodbury is reporting 2.19 inches. Syosset, 1.48 inches. Muttontown, 1.31 inches. Searingtown, 1.15 inches. Levittown, 1.13. North Merrick, 1.10. So generally between an inch and an inch and a half, except for that number in Woodbury there. In Manhattan, Greenwich Village got 1.42. They don't have a number from Central Park, but they do have Midtown Manhattan, 1.17. Upstate, some of the higher amounts, like I said, Orange County, USMA, 2.37, Warwick, 2.26. That's quite a bit of rain out there. Looking at Queens, Jackson Heights, 1.38 inches. LaGuardia, 1.18 inches. Oakland Gardens, 1.16. Belrose, 1.14. In Staten Island, Richmond County, in Staten Island, just say Staten Island, 1.08. Where is that in Staten Island? But generally around 1 inch. Rockland also seeing some higher amounts, closer to 2 inches of rain. Suffern, 1.96. Suffolk County, Stony Brook, 1.31. But these are all numbers that came in kind of early as of 3/11. So a lot of these numbers, we're going to have to update them again later on, because these aren't the latest numbers, actually. For more of a better look, let's go ahead and look at this. We'll change this to precipitation, and we'll use this map instead to look at it, because I think we'll have more recent reports here with that. And we'll go to starting this at midnight. Okay, so here we go. Here's the map. So the map is kind of easier to go over a map and take a look and see some of these numbers here. So it's only saying 0.62 in Carl Place. I don't know if I'm buying that. 1.20 in Levittown. I think we saw around an inch to an inch and a half in Nassau County, personally. Suffolk County, an inch to an inch and a half as well. Some of these numbers here, 1.21 and 1.45 at Brookhaven Airport. Where's Islip here? 0.83, an inch in Sayville. And then as you head out east, looks like some higher amounts as you get toward the North Fork here. 1.96, a 2.04 in Mattituck, 1.20 in West Hampton. A little less as you head way out there, probably more like a half an inch. But then Montauk's reporting 1.10. So it all depends on where the showers and thunderstorms hit, because where those showers hit, there's some heavy rain. And a 2.56 being reported at Woodbury. But the question is there really anything near that site, or is this an erroneous reading? That is the question. Looking at the city here, let's load this in here. 0.96, 1.28, 1.21, Staten Island. Actually, it's not Staten Island, my mistake. That's Jersey City. And as we go into New Jersey, I mean, it's fairly uniform. The rainfall amounts, 1.72 in Toms River. So generally between 1 and 2 inches, but there are isolated areas that got over 2 inches. Generally, that seems to be the deal with the rainfall today. Looking at our satellite image, you see there are the clouds associated with a little break right over here, interestingly enough. Actually, the clouds are starting to break up a little bit. So, but this is all the warm sector, I think, where things have to cool off. We have to wait for this cooler air to get here. So if we go back to the observations, we can just look at air temperature, for instance. Latest, you'll see temperatures are in the 60s. So we have to, let's see if we can find any cooler air. Not really. We have to go all the way back into Western Maryland to get into the cooler air, into Western Maryland. So it's going to be a while before it cools off. Probably not until after midnight. If we look at the dew point, you'll see the same thing. You have to wait. We have to wait a little bit. The drier air is still all the way back here, so we're probably going to have to wait about 6 hours for that drier air to come in. So keep that air conditioner on. And yes, a lot of people had their air conditioners on today. On the last day of November. It's pretty crazy to see that. So let's look at power outage situation. So we have 3,535 people out of power right now. It's mainly smaller outages scattered about, not really any large ones that I see on the map here. We can go to Power Outage US2 and look as well. Use this map here. Show some other areas. It looks like Massachusetts and Maine are now dealing with power outages. So Massachusetts has Maine has 33,454 people without power. Massachusetts has 38,841. Connecticut has 19,103. Rhode Island has 29, almost 30,000 outages in Rhode Island. So these areas were hit pretty hard by the wind. I'm kind of curious to see if we can actually find out any wind gusts from that area, perhaps. I'm going to go and look at that and see if they have any wind reports at the Boston Weather Service. They do have wind gust reports. Okay, so here we go. Here's some wind gust reports. Oh, this is rain. All right, this is rain. All right. There's a 2.72 inches of rain in Plainville, in Hartford, Connecticut. But we're looking at the wind gusts here. Let's see. Bristol County, Taunton hit 65. Wow. Westport, 64. So this is in Massachusetts. 58 mile an hour in Rockport. Middlesex County. Am I reading that right? 81 miles an hour at Blue Hill. That is incredible. 81 mile an hour wind gusts at Blue Hill in Massachusetts. 4:35 p.m. That's crazy. And Rhode Island, Comic Light had a wind gust of 68 miles an hour. And New Shoreham in Washington County in Rhode Island had a wind gust of 66 miles an hour. So, yeah, all pretty impressive stuff here. These wind reports are pretty impressive here. And if you look at the radar, you can see that there is just, look at all this severe weather now that's now moving into New England here. Some really heavy rain, some very strong winds with these storms here. And if we go back to the latest observations here, I just want to this is really a very unusual event to see, showing some of these wind gusts here in the red. You'll see you still got wind gusts well up there, 53 or in some areas. So a lot of wind. It's causing a lot of power outages. Again, if we look at New York, New Jersey's not doing too badly. It's just 2,101 outages. And probably, let's see where they are. Probably mostly northern New Jersey. Yeah, mostly in Morris County, it looks like. And Connecticut, so most of the outages are probably in that eastern county. Yeah, New London, 8,452. That could be a large outage right there. I don't have the access to that particular map. If we look at Rhode Island here, let's look at Rhode Island here. The counties here where there's a lot of power outage. Oh yeah, Bristol County. Looks like they were hit hard. Washington County too. So we'll go to Massachusetts as well. Oh, I meant to go Massachusetts, not Maine. Massachusetts. We also have some outages in Bristol County and Worcester County. Not too many in the Cape, surprisingly. Okay, so I think we've pretty much looked at everything regarding that. So let's go look at the models. I guess that's where we'll go to next. Okay, so here's our huge storm there showing up there. Look at that thing, huge storm. There's snow on the backside of it in Ohio. It's just a huge storm. And if we we'll look at the upper air, let me just change the region so we get a wider view of what's happening here on the upper air. You go up the air, you'll see how just deep this thing is, just how deep it is. So, looking at the upper air, you'll see the trough will still be on the right side of that trough tomorrow, which means there's going to be plenty of clouds around, and maybe even a scattered shower or two. And then it dries out Wednesday on the backside, Thursday, and then here comes the next trough that starts developing for next weekend into next week. And that could bring down some cold air, especially as you get to there. And there's another deep trough right there that forms. And then look at that toward the end of the period. There's another one. But look what happens as we get toward the end of the period. We start going back to the ridge in the east deal again, which isn't surprising because that's what the long-range models would say for December, that it was going to be above normal. But we will have a couple of cold shots in here, especially next week. You can see, look at that. That looks pretty impressive right there. And you can see a real strong negative tilt on that system right there. So, of course, that's a ways away, and a lot can change, and probably will between now and then. So let's go and take a look at the surface. So here's the surface map on the GFS, and you will see here storm pulls out We're in an unsettled kind of flow tomorrow. Wednesday we improve, dry out. Here's the high pressure building in, bring us some fair weather, and then our next chance of rain looks like it would be Saturday. However, now it looks like it's suppressing this storm to the south. So maybe we won't see that much rain on the weekend, hopefully. And then that system kind of moves by to our south on Sunday. And then behind it, we get that cold air that's going to develop. There's another system also forming offshore. There's that cold air coming in. You can see it. And then another clipper type system would affect us the next weekend there. And then another cold shot of air behind that. But it looks like we're going to have some cold shots of air. We, again, look at the temperature anomaly. We did this yesterday, but we'll look at it again. You'll see once we get through into, you see we're a little bit below normal, go a little bit above normal on the weekend, and then here comes the cold. There it is. There's a little shot of cold air right there, and a bigger shot for as we get toward the end of that period again. It seems like it's pushing it off again. Now it's pushing it off to mid-December. So it's classic the GFS to do that always. You know, it's like, oh, it looked like we were going to get a big plunge next week, and now it's pushing off the big plunge a little bit, not surprisingly. So let's go ahead and take a look at our temperatures because we won't be dealing with too much more precipitation as we head into December. Temperatures drop tomorrow, start off in the 50s. Gusty winds dropping into the 40s by later in the afternoon. By nighttime, we're in the 30s. And on Wednesday, much colder, highs in the mid-40s, a little slightly below normal. Thursday morning is going to be pretty chilly with lows around 30 degrees. And then for Thursday, we get a little warmer. Highs go back up into the mid-40s. And then for Friday, this looks like a stall front, so we maybe have clouds and may keep us kind of chilly with highs in the only low 40s. Saturday, warm up a little bit, close to average, mid-40s again on Saturday, and then as you get into Monday next week, you'll see temperatures in the low 40s. Remember, we're running into December now, so temperatures should be in the 40s for highs. So we're a little bit below normal, but not by that much. But we do see colder weather, a little bit below normal, and then as we get into that here comes that plunge. So 30s that day, and then we really have some cold days there, highs in the mid-30s, perhaps. Maybe struggling to make it to 30, but now we have to wait until December. Look at that! Highs only in the 20s on that day, December 15th. Whether that's right or not is anyone else's guess, but that looks like a nice plunge that'll come down then. So let's look at the dew points here, show you the humidity we'll be getting out of here. So here's that surge of humidity, but it's going to be gone. You see the drier air coming into New Jersey around midnight. We dry out by morning, and then you can see still some strong winds from the southwest tomorrow. Oddly, because of the tilt of this storm, we actually have southwest winds, but it's bringing colder air in because the colder air went down south first. Now it's coming up, so it's kind of modified. So that's why it's not going to be that cold, but still some strong winds. It'll make it feel cold, and it's still pretty breezy on Wednesday as well. With the dew points dropping, you see nice low dew points, and hopefully no more humidity. Hopefully that's it. That would be nice. Because, you shouldn't have to use the air conditioner at this time of the year. It's crazy. So let's look at the skies. So as we head into tomorrow, you'll see we'll have a good deal of clouds around, and maybe we'll look at some of the other models, or maybe a couple of pop-up showers. Less clouds Wednesday. Wednesday should have less clouds. I don't know if it's going to be clear, per se. Thursday, we'll probably have clear skies to start, then the high clouds roll in. Then more clouds for Saturday. And the weekend, and then I don't know when the next clear day would be. We might have to wait until Tuesday. Here's Wednesday. We might have to wait for that shot. I'm not even going to go that far in advance with the skies. Let's look at the NAM 3 kilometer. Hopefully the NAM's a little better looking for Wednesday. But you see tomorrow we'll have plenty of clouds with the instability and maybe even a shower pop up. Wednesday looks to be a much better day, mostly sunny. Maybe a few more clouds over Long Island. And we'll also look at the RGEM model as well for that. Let's see how Wednesday looks. So Wednesday seems to have more clouds over Long Island, and yeah, this seems to pop up a lot of instability, cloudiness. We'll have to see if we get to see that instability, cloudiness, and not what's going to happen. We have to, hopefully we can get some more sunshine. Hopefully have another nice sunny day. Hopefully that would be nice. A sunny and cold day would be nice. So let me go to the NAM 12 kilometer, and we'll just look at that shower chance for tomorrow. Um, so tomorrow, you will see here, there's a slight chance of showers, very slight, and it's mostly east of maybe eastern Long Island, and then there could be a few that pop up right in the middle. But again, it would just be like a sprinkle, I think, nothing heavy, but it will be breezy. You can see those tight isobars. So we're still going to be dealing with the wind. If we look at the wind speeds, you'll see that we're still going to be dealing with some wind. Well, I'll look at it on windy.com for you. But we're still going to be dealing with that. Let me look at the HRRR as well. So HRRR, here's the HRRR for tomorrow. Could be, like I said, a chance of a shower. Looks like in the early afternoon there could be a chance of a shower, most likely. Let me go look at the just a couple of other things. NHC. There was actually a tropical. This is the last day. They were watching some disturbance that could become something, but this is the last day of what has been a historic hurricane season. We can't forget about that. That's for sure. It's just crazy that we've seen so many storms this year. And it's just a sign of what's happening on our planet. So let's look at the wind here. This is windy.com. You can see the wind, but it should start improving as we get into tomorrow. You'll see the wind shift over more to a westerly component and not as strong. It's still going to be windy, but not damaging winds. Just breezy conditions. But winds could still gust into the 30s. Once we get into Wednesday, we'll have less wind. And this is the Euro. We can also look at this as the European model here. It looks like it's got plenty of clouds, unfortunately, for us on Wednesday. A lot of clouds. Wow, that's surprising. So it has a lot of clouds for us on Wednesday, unfortunately. And then Thursday, by the time those clouds move out, then we got to worry about the high clouds moving in. So I'll have to see. Maybe Thursday we might be able to look out and have a mostly sunny day. But right now, not looking too good for Wednesday. It looks like we're going to be dealing with some clouds. So that's going to bring this weather update to an end. And I will say News 12 actually did a good job covering this. I'll just give News 12 credit here. News 12, we'll go to their site because they actually did cover this. They led off with the weather for 10 minutes, so they were really talking about it. They were covering it, and they actually did a good job. And I criticize News 12 when they screw up, but when they do a good job, I will commend them, and they actually did a pretty good job. So that's going to bring this weather update to an end. Thank you for watching, and take care.